Hello there guys, Raj here and hope you guys are well. Today's video, as you can see, joined by a very special guest, joined by my dad, who is, I'm actually at my parents' house this weekend, just enjoying time with my family. So yeah, today we thought what we'd do is do a video talking to you guys about my dad's taste in fragrances. And as you can see, this is his collection. He's got a pretty good collection here. So Dad, yeah, we're just going to talk about, where should we start with? Let's say, what fragrances were you into when you were around my age? Like, what were you wearing at the time?
Well, I remember after school, when I joined my first employment in 1972, the word fragrance wasn't that popular. Okay. No one used fragrance as far as men is concerned. We just use aftershave.
Yeah, okay.
So if you were smelling nice, somebody would stop you and say, "What aftershave are you wearing?"
Yeah.
And aftershave was merely a man-made concoction of some, somebody's imagination.
Yeah.
And the aftershaves I remember were Brut.
Yeah.
Do you remember that ghastly television commercial they had? High Karate. And those who could afford it, I do remember a nice opaline bottle made by Tabak, the West German firm. So in the 70s, this is what we had aftershave, not fragrances.
Okay, and I think I remember actually when I was younger, I remember seeing a bottle of, I think it was Dunhill Edition or something. Dunhill Edition, I think you had in your wardrobe.
That's right. Yeah. For my sins, I smoke a pipe, and I get my pipe tobacco at Dunhill's in St James's in London. And as you probably know, Raju, you've been there a number of times, that the tobacco section is on the first floor, and on the ground floor they have the boutique selling all sorts of perfumes. And there in the men's section, I once noticed a perfume or a fragrance called Edition.
Yeah.
And when I first had a sniff at that, I realized this is what quality is all about.
Yeah, okay.
It's understated. That's been my style.
Yeah, so that's pretty much, I mean, even looking at the collection now, I think that pretty much sums up your style. I mean, what else would you say? Understated is your style? What do you normally go for in fragrances?
Yes, like anything in life, I don't like anything to be thrust in my face. If you have strength, then your character, your speech, the way you talk to people will bring that strength out. You don't have to go about punching people in the face.
Yeah. And
I think the same applies to my collection of my fragrances. They are classic British understated.
Yeah.
If you, for example, this one here, which one shall I pick?
Well, let's start with anyone you like.
Elite, the House of Floris, in St James's. Understated. If you wear this, somebody will notice it only after a few minutes.
This, guys, if you're not aware, so British House of Floris, and I've actually reviewed this fragrance. This one is called Elite. It's quite green. It's quite sort of grassy and sort of slightly quite classic oak horsey. It's pretty good.
This fragrance reminds me of a typical British gentleman's club. People discussing P.G. Wodehouse and noblesse oblige, that sort of thing, chivalry. This is what comes to my mind.
Fantastic. And you've had a few actually from Floris. One which is actually unopened. These are actually the old bottle designs, and this one is number 89. Now I'm not sure if you can remember what it smells like, but one thing I do know, I believe this was I've forgotten his name, but Fleming, who wrote the Bond books. So either he wore this or Bond in the books wore 89 or something like that.
Yes, Bond in the books he visits Floris number of times. But they don't actually mention which perfume he's wearing.
Oh right, okay. So we've covered a couple from Floris. We also have one here which really smells great on you, from the house of Ormonde Jayne. And again, as you can see, this is a fairly old bottle, but this is Ormonde Man, and my dad's pretty much gone through the entire bottle. For me, this is actually my favourite fragrance on you. What do you think?
Thing is, Raji, when I put this on, it reminds me of this one here. I see little change, a little difference. Like two Porsches, one is turbocharged, one isn't.
Yeah.
Classic, proper British perfumes, you know, painstakingly put together and understated.
I think so, and I think I need to actually check my facts on this one, but the one my dad mentions is Clive Christian's X for Men, and I need to double check my facts here, but I think they're actually made by the same perfume. I think Geyser Schön. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, as you said, you know, really well put together, and Ormonde Jayne, you know, Linda Pilkington is the lady behind this brand, and she's done a really excellent job. This is, their DNA is all over this one. It's a little bit spicy, pink peppercorns. It's very, very masculine. I think it's probably, as I said, it's my favourite one on you.
And these two I purchased, I would say 5-6 years ago. Crown Perfumeries.
Crown Perfumery, yeah.
And the funny thing about this is either of these, a number of times I would put it on, and while shopping, I'm stopped by random men, mostly random men. They say, "Excuse me, sorry to disturb you, but can you tell me what perfume are you wearing?"
Yeah.
And I'm rather embarrassed because I really don't know which perfume I put it on that day.
Just spray it on.
I just spray it on and forget about it,
Yeah.
and go out. So I just fob them off by saying, "Oh, it's something my wife's bought for me," and then make a quick getaway.
Yeah. Well, these two actually. So these two fragrances, guys, from the Crown Perfumery Company, actually a company that no longer exists, set up in I think Victorian England, and the house is actually bought by Clive Christian. So you might be able to see a resemblance in the bottle. And for me, whenever I think about these fragrances, this one is called Sandringham, and this one is Crown Park Royal. For me, this takes me back to a time when fragrances were around in your earlier years, and they don't make stuff like this nowadays. Maybe to do with like regulations, but this is like a classic. There's like oak moss in here. There's patchouli. It's a very, very classic men's fragrance, and to be honest, Sandringham is probably joint favourite for me. Smelling fragrances on you with Ormonde Jayne.
See, Raji, you and your friends out there, you look at the ingredients first and all that. I decide, I can live with this or I cannot. And even if it is the most expensive perfume, if I cannot live with it, then I will not buy it.
Yeah.
But it is true what they say. In this life, you have to pay for quality.
Yeah, I think so. I agree.
Anything quality does not come cheap.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a free lunch, and the same applies to fragrances.
I completely agree. Like pretty much with fragrances, you do pay for what you get. There may be some exceptions to the rule, but yeah, absolutely. So one more fragrance here to talk about from the house of Creed. Now you talk about British classic style. This Creed, as you know, is actually a French brand, and this particular one, which I think you need a new bottle of this one. This one is Royal Water. And it is kind of a classic sort of British style, British gentleman style. It's very underrated. It's super fresh. It's very, very clean in the opening, dry. This one is actually amazing as well. You need to get a new one.
Yes. And there's another brand which I like.
Penhaligon's maybe?
Penhaligon's, no. This one is more lemony fragrances. You know.
Oh, the Spanish, the Alvaro Gomez. I think you've got an Alvaro Gomez fragrance, so you used to have that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you did have a couple of other Creeds, and whenever I think of some Creed fragrances, I often think of my dad. Like, he used to have Green Irish Tweed, so we don't have the bottle here. You used to have Bois de Portugal, I think, also. And those fragrances, you know, like, they do suit the kind of George Clooney character, you know, like who was the other guy? Frank Sinatra. I think Creed say that these guys wore Creed fragrances.
Funny thing is, I don't like to wear perfumes during winter time.
Oh, really?
I'm more of a summer, sultry, heavy weather where I can smoke a nice Monte Cristo cigar and perfumes to go with it. I'm more of a summer fragrance guy than winter. I don't know how it is. You just, you know, make more of my skin, I suppose. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, you know, as you can see, guys, a lot of my dad's good taste has rubbed off onto me in the world of fragrances and fine cigars as well. And Dad, like, I mean, how important are fragrances to you? I mean, a lot of people in our fragrance community, we use them for maybe attracting the other people, or feeling confident, feeling better about themselves. Is that how you feel about fragrances, or it's just a simple accessory?
No, everything I do it for myself. And if you please yourself, then you have a chance of pleasing others.
Yeah.
So start with yourself, and then you expand to others.
Perfect.
You know,
Perfect.
your children, your wife likes you to smell good, so you start wearing perfumes or fragrances which not only pleases you but others as well.
Perfect. Well, that's great. Well, we're going out tonight. Me, my dad, and my mum. We're going to see a play. I don't know. Are you wearing a fragrance now, or have you not? Which one are you going? What's your scent of the night going to be?
Just before we started our video, I put on this one here.
Okay.
To
Excellent.
me, nothing in this world beats Clive Christian.
Yeah.
And I think he should stop making furniture and concentrate on perfumes only.
Well, he has put out a new line of fragrances, which you can check out. One of them I featured on my Instagram page, so check that out, guys. And Dad, thanks a lot for coming. Really appreciate it. Thanks for your time.
Not a problem.
I've learned so much from you in life, not
You're
just
welcome,
fragrances, but
you're welcome.
yeah. So, guys, let me know what you thought about this video. Have you tried any of the fragrances here? And I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.